You are now looking at progress for the sake of progress, also known as the new Golf GTi. And although we usually try to be all clever and weird in these little videos, we'll immediately jump onto the bandwagon and proclaim that GTi Mk8 is way too complicated. Not for its own good, we believe, but because of our insatiable desires to swipe, pair, gesture and update bloody everything. It seems like we want to do everything in a car except maybe drive it. Case in point, the Tesla-initiated idiocy of replacing physical buttons with an oversized and upright iPad. Of course, this works wonders in any device which is either stationary or, in ideal cases involving Teslas, capable of piloting itself. But a mere mortal vehicle like a Golf still needs a human with preferably two steady hands on the wheel. Yeah, sure, the central tunnel and middle console look extremely chic when most of the buttons have been replaced by sculpted surfaces and animated cup holders, but I desperately longed for the return of two switches. Firstly, the start-stop system, and secondly, some sort of stability control button. We honestly don't have a problem with those automatic engine start-stop systems, or any other driver aids for that matter, as long as they aren't too obtrusive and can be deactivated at will. As another random critique of this GTi 8, it would occasionally shut down the engine in an extremely rough and uncouth manner. The system can indeed be deactivated, but you need to finish a 3-year degree in technical engineering with a master's thesis in UI or interface design to discover the settings menu, swipe the 3D GTi model, and finally stumble upon the desired button. Actually, that may have been the required quest to tone down or kill the traction control. I'm not sure anymore. Honestly, who thought it was a wise idea to remove the buttons in favor of a huge command center, which will nuke every other vehicle control if it should ever break? Before I fly into more rage about too much screen time or insufficient fuel gauge markings, we'd like to defend VW at this point, because we believe that they had to make the 8 this complicated to keep up with or try to stay ahead of the pack. Focus, ST, Megane RS, AMG 35, they're all trying to outdo each other. And the Golf GTi was, is, and probably always will be the standard by which all of them are measured. Now mix in our simply stupid cravings to drive a mobile laptop, and you get this new 8th generation model. The next one will drive itself, no doubt, and Gen 10 will surely be a full EV Autobot. Which leads me to the actual driving bit, a task which this hot hatchback always excelled at. The first few minutes behind the wheel of a car are crucial, and I have to note that mine were extremely impressive. I kept away from any screens and simply zipped around my neighborhood at low to moderate speeds. First impressions, the GTi doesn't disappoint. It responds almost instantly, were it not for its EU-dictated tall gear low RPM baseline. The steering response is excellent, grip levels were never surpassed, and the ride is borderline tolerable for a hot hatch. Again, the current wagon wheel trend is to blame, as it will always deliver comparably harsh low-speed damping. Big wheels also produce a lot of tire roar, but we quickly noted that the new GTi is well insulated and, unlike some cheaper VW brethren, nicely appointed inside. Most of the cabin materials are top class, and this Halo model retains sensible stuff like carpeted door pockets or soft rubber linings in the various cockpit trays. The front seats are delicious to look at and great to sit in, and these ones offered multi-stage heating. Rear space and comfort is okay. The cargo area is generous, while fuel consumption is as bad as you'd like it. Restrain your right foot or coast at high speeds to achieve the claimed average of 7 liters per 100 kilometers. Some colleagues bemoaned the lack of a proper exhaust note in this car. Yes, even in all the sporty settings, and I tend to agree. The GTi 8 only gets noisy if you mesh your foot into the firewall. Even its trademark exhaust farts are fairly subdued, or completely absent if you're not absolutely whipping it. We also agreed that this front-wheel drive car is nearing the limit of what a modern combination of suspension, diff, gearbox and ESP system can cleanly put down on the tarmac. Which brings me to my final point. I personally think the GTi peaked a few generations ago, somewhere between Mark 5 and Mark 7 depending on your taste. It didn't need more power. nor was it crying out for an enormous touchscreen. In fact, I think the perfect GTi is a red two-door manual Mark V or Mark VI, and I would happily buy one to prove that point.